Welcome to the Supreme Grammar Podcast, where you can learn to write like a Supreme Court Justice, with me, Jill Barton. Today, our AI hosts focus on the analysis or application, the A, of CREAC. This is where you show how the law meets the facts. It's the most important part, but not easy to master. Let's listen in.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that, honestly, trips up a lot of people in legal writing. It's getting right to the guts of any legal question.
Yeah, the real core of it.
Exactly. So our mission today, we're unpacking maybe the most critical piece of legal analysis, the analysis section itself.
That A, the analysis or application, that's the powerhouse.
That's where you show your thinking.
Precisely. It's where you demonstrate how you got from the rule to the answer for this specific situation.
Okay, so let's unpack that analysis section then. What's its main job? How do we take those legal rules, those sort of anchors, and actually apply them without just, listing things?
Right. It's definitely not about listing. The main goal is to weave those legal anchors directly into the specific facts of your case. It's all about detailed legal reasoning.
Okay.
And here's the really crucial part, especially for objective writing. You absolutely have to show both sides.
Both sides, even if you think one side is clearly right.
Yes, absolutely. You lay out the core analysis supporting your likely conclusion, sure. But then you have to tackle the strongest arguments against it. That's the counter-analysis.
Okay.
And after the counter-analysis, you explain why your main analysis holds up better. That's the resolution. Doing that impartiality, that's where your credibility comes from.
Okay, that makes sense for an objective memo. But then how do you actually build that support? You mentioned applying rules, but how?
Well, that gets us into the real tools of the trade here. Analogizing and distinguishing cases.
Right, comparing your case to past ones.
Exactly. It's how you say, look, this situation is similar to this previous case where X happened, so X should probably happen here too. Or
this case is different from that other one because of this key fact, so the result should be different.
you got it. That's analogizing, finding the key similarities and finding the key differences.
So what makes those comparisons, those analogies or distinctions actually work? What makes them persuasive and not just superficial?
Good question. There are three key things they need to be. They have to be substantive, parallel, and specific.
Okay, break those down. Substantive.
Substantive means the comparison has to be tied to a relevant legal point, one of those anchors or legal grounds that actually decides the issue. It can't just be, both cases involved a Tuesday. That's irrelevant.
Got it. Not superficial. What about parallel?
Parallel means you're comparing like with like. Apples to apples, right? So you compare a specific fact in your case to a similar specific fact in the precedent case.
Like the size of a gap in a fence, maybe?
Exactly. Or you compare the court's reasoning in one case to the likely reasoning in yours. Or the holding there to the predicted holding here. Fact to fact, reasoning to reasoning.
Okay, that makes sense. And the last one. Specific.
Specific is crucial. You can't just say, this case is like Smith v. Jones. Why? How? You need to pull out the details from both cases.
Give me an example.
Sure. Instead of just the property here is like the property in Chambers, you'd say something much more detailed like, here, the backyard, much like the one in Chambers, was enclosed by a man-made fence that had a necessary gap, maybe 25 feet wide in our case, compared to the 10 to 15-foot gap in Chambers. See the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. That paints a much clearer picture of why the comparison matters.
That detail gives your analysis teeth.
Okay, so you build your case using these substantive, parallel, specific comparisons. Then you address the other side with that counter-analysis and resolution bit we talked about.
Exactly. You show you've considered the counter-arguments, you explain why they likely fail, and then you move to your final conclusion.
And this final conclusion. It's not just copy-pasting the C from the start of CREC.
Definitely not. You should rephrase it. Briefly restate the conclusion, but maybe add the core reasons supporting it, using precise legal terms. It wraps things up neatly.
And importantly, for hedging words here, right, like probably or likely.
Yes, absolutely critical and objective analysis. Legal questions, especially the interesting ones, rarely have slam dunk answers. Using words like probably, likely, shows the reader your realistic assessment of the certainty. It reflects the complexity.
So pulling this all together, mastering this kind of analysis, focusing on objectivity, using analogies properly, handling counter-arguments, this isn't just an academic exercise, is it?
Not at all. This is the roadmap. Get this right from day one in law school, and you're setting yourself up for success. You become that better, more modern writer that honestly, employers, judges, professors, they all expect to see that kind of rigorous thinking.
So it really impacts your whole career.
It does. And maybe a final thought to leave folks with. Think about how this discipline, this habit of objectively looking at all sides, weighing arguments and counter-arguments fairly, how that applies beyond just writing a legal memo.
Like in any decision making.
Any complex situation, really, being able to analyze information impartially, consider the implications fully, that's just a powerful skill to have, period. It helps you make better, more reasoned choices in almost any context. It's about clear, unbiased thinking.
Putting forth that clear, unbiased analysis in a detailed and substantive way can set your writing apart and really show you know how to think like a lawyer. Next time, we'll show you how to put the whole memo together, from the question presented and facts to that final conclusion, and create a document that works as a unified whole. Thanks for listening, and remember, you can be a great legal writer.